So, oh,
Well, well, well. Hello. Howdy. I guess it's time to start.
let me unmute my microphone in
Yeah,
that
you should
case.
probably unmute yourself, bud. I don't think anyone's here. I don't know if anyone's here. Let me see. It says two people are
I think it's
watching.
just me. One of those is me.
Well, one other person's watching, and that's all that matters, baby. Everyone,
Welcome
all person, hello, welcome. Uh,
to the Fresh Oil
Welcome
Podcast,
back to the best podcast on the internet's favorite podcast.
America's premier podcast about automotive culture and automotive related things.
It's, really like smoking tire doesn't fucking have shit on us, basically. It's kind of what we're
Exactly. I
getting at
mean,
here.
I don't I don't even watch Smoking Tires, so they're probably not nearly as good as us.
Yeah, I don't watch them either, to be completely honest. I'm sure they're fine.
Nor do I know anyone who does watch them. Not
Yeah,
trying to hate.
I think there's just, their crowd of people who like them, and they're kind of insular in some ways. I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind of feel
I'm
like
not a big Matt Farah
I
fan.
feel like everyone knows Matt Farah. Everyone knows who Matt Farah is, but I don't know many people that are like, "Oh yeah, I love Matt Farah."
Yeah, other than like, yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they exist. I just, can't really think of many.
they're
Anyway,
like Corvette guys.
Colin, how have you been doing? It's been 2 weeks. We're back. We're here for another chit chat. How have you been? How have you been, bud?
I've been living the dream. I am currently on vacation as of yesterday, so
On vacation.
naturally I am unprepared for this because I was busy vacationing. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's been a wild couple of weeks, but
It's been
I
wild for
almost got
everyone.
the S12 running again. The oil pan gasket split in half, and it was
What?
dumping oil out.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Fucking
And
Nissans.
unfortunately, the oil pan and the cross member are too close to each other to just take the oil pan out with the engine still bolted in. So I am going to probably use some of my vacation time to pull the engine a little further out
Dude,
and
that sounds
finish
so
replacing that.
fun.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Well, I've been waiting on a part from my buddy. It actually just got here today for the Jetta.
Ooh, yeah.
I needed the new distributor plug, or the hall sensor connector, pigtail, whatever you want to fucking call
Okay.
it. I could not fucking find it. So like I guess on the Jetta or Mark Ones or whatever, that design, I'm sure it was used on a bunch of cars. They have like an early and a late style alternator, and the pigtail, the plug is different. And
Distributed pigtail, not alternator
yeah,
pigtail.
did I say alternator? I meant distributor. Yeah, the distributor
You
pigtail.
did say
I did.
alternator, but
Fuck me,
I,
man.
I, I knew what you were talking about.
So the Jetta, the harness on the car side was the old style, and then I bought a new alternator because the old one looked like it was.
Distributor.
I just said it again. Fuck me. I'm done. The old distributor looked like it lived on the bottom of the sea. So
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures. That thing looked pretty
the thing
crusty.
was fucking crusty. But the new one had the newer style plug. And I I tried just shoving the thing in because it's like, like a 3 spade connector thing at the end. But yeah, it was hopeless. Did not work. But
Well, good luck with that, brother.
yeah, so my buddy, he had parts hordes or what, something sitting around somewhere, and he just cut it off a harness. I think he had a few old Mark One harnesses laying around, so he just cut it off and sent it to me. So hopefully I can do that, and I'm hoping that's the problem. I think I fixed the problem and then broke it with the new distributor. And
Hey, there you go.
so I think I did make it work, and then I didn't make it work. So we'll see. Other than that, I've been working on guitars since Corona time. You know, fuck, man. All right, we're not gonna talk about that shit though. But like, we all know.
Well, I mean, we kind of have
I mean, we
to.
do to some extent. We can talk about it to like the side. You know.
Yeah, we'll talk about where it's relevant.
Yeah. Like I guess we can hop to the first story basically. I
Yeah,
think
we'll
we'll
go to.
so let me preface this entire thing for anyone watching later down the line or right now. Um
It is March 26th, 2020, and the world is shut down.
yeah, so obviously there's not so much news going on, especially in the car world. Pretty much anything sporting related, not just cars, but every sport is canceled until further notice. Uh, Obviously because of COVID-19. In fact, Goodwood just got postponed, and that's in July. So that's fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for Summer of Seat Time 2020.
no, it really doesn't. But obviously we're gonna push forward. We're gonna do the best that we can and keep getting shit done. So this podcast may be a little abbreviated. We may not have too many topics, too much to talk about. So if this is a little shorter, it's a little shorter. We
I
decided.
would also like to point out that those searching for seat time that cannot go to events, we do not condone illegal activities on the road, but industrial areas are all pretty much shut down.
I mean, also like if you drive to Mexico, right?
Well, the border to Mexico is closed is the problem.
Ah,
But if
shit.
you know the way in,
So wait a minute. So you're telling me if a YouTuber says that they're going to Mexico in these next few weeks, we know they're fucking lying?
or they're just sneaking over the border.
That's true. I know it's not a supremely secure border. Um, anyway, to go off that and all of that we're saying, we decided that for a little bit of fun that we would have both of us create a slideshow presentation. I think we'll do that a little bit later, even though I have it at the top. So we have two presentations coming up. Colin, I spelled your name wrong, didn't I?
No, yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Why did I do
there
that?
are two L's in
Why
my
did I
name.
do that? Why did I put one L?
You know, a lot of people do.
But why did I? Because
and
I don't even. That's not how I would spell Colin. I don't even know why I did that. All right.
That's how Colin Chapman spelled Colin,
Well,
and that's maybe the more important Colin to remember.
yeah, more important than you, I guess. Anyway,
I mean, certainly.
Colin with two L's has a presentation on Zokusha style. And myself, I have a presentation on why front-wheel drive is best wheel drive. So we will get to that in a bit. For now, I guess we'll start with the first story. First story is that because there's no racing, obviously, there's been a lot of e-racing going on.
And it's popping off.
And it's pretty fucking cool. I think this one that you sent me, this article here, was a little bit before they did the races, like, I think? Or could this be actually after?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a super long article. I read a few things about what was going on, so I'm actually slightly informed. But basically, thrown together at the very last second, there was a NASCAR race held on iRacing. A group called The Race ran an open wheel series with Formula One drivers, professional esports drivers, IndyCar drivers, sports car drivers, and it was on R Factor 2. And 24 hours before the event, they announced what car and what track it was going to be and had open qualifiers. And like the fastest 20 people or something like that.
Yeah, they've been
posted on the boards got to qualify for it.
They've been doing some pretty cool shit with it, honestly. I didn't watch it as it happened. This article touches on it.
I was watching some of the race earlier today. I didn't finish it. What they did is they had 3 heats. They had a heat of the professional driver, a heat of the professional sim racers, and a heat of the open qualifier people. And then the top 3 from all those heats competed in like one final, and I didn't get that far in it. It was pretty fun.
For the
honestly.
Not the Australian Grand Prix.
Oh no, so that was there were 2 big open wheel sim things with a bunch of drivers in it. There was the Not the Aus GP, which was in F1 2019, and they did it in Australia, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then the race did Nürburgring with the 2012 F1 car because they kept it a secret until 24 hours in advance.
So that one was more of a let's see who the best driver is with, low preparation, not really knowing what track you have, not really knowing what car you're going to have. Plus it's simulation, so even the pro drivers have some amount that they have to adjust to it. So you can get these really close races, which is awesome. I guess Not the Aus GP was a little closer to what the Australian Grand Prix would have been. obviously.
Yeah, because it used the Formula One video game and shit.
Yeah, so I watched a little bit of the Not the Os GP, and it was pretty cool. I mean, I just think it's cool that we legitimately have almost to the same level as the real sport. We have real racing drivers racing with these, YouTubers and professional sim drivers and whatever. And, I think that's really cool that, it shows how widespread like the racing world is and how you can expand it in that way.
Yeah, I think it's dope as fuck, dude. I think it's like a cool way to kind of mix the bases too, because like there's that dude Jimmy Broadbent who does like a ton of streaming. And I'm not like super into that shit, but there's people that just watch streamers a lot, and maybe this is like will get them a little more into actual racing and stuff like that.
I
Having like the actual Formula One racers jumping in the mix and shit.
I usually will check out Jimmy Broadbent's like videos on YouTube. I don't particularly love watching like streaming myself, just because
Same, it's not really my favorite.
I know that's kind of funny to say while we're streaming. I honestly like podcasts more than I like other forms of streaming anyway. But
Agreed.
But where was I going with that? I completely lost my fucking train of thought there. So I watch anyway. I figured it out. It's I watch Jimmy Broadbent.
Streamers bringing streaming fans into the motorsports world.
Totally, yeah, and YouTube world too, because obviously there's the people like me who don't really watch streaming but do watch YouTube. And Jimmy Broadbent, he finished like 4th or something, and he's not even.
Yeah, I think he raced in both of them too.
He's not even like he's a really good sim driver, way better driver than I am, and obviously he's still improving. But he admittingly, and as you can see on like so many leaderboards, he's not like top of the top sim driver, and he still managed to finish 4th, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So. Oh, we said so at the same time? Well, Jinx, you owe me a Coke, you bitch.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, continuing on about that one though, and this is a little piece of news that I found, is that NASCAR's virtual race was the largest televised esport ever.
Really?
Fox Sports, I guess it was, they raced eNASCAR in iRacing, and it drew 903,000 viewers on FS1. Almost a million people watched video games.
Wow.
For one race.
Well, I think Dale Jr. raced in that one, didn't he?
I don't actually know who raced in it. And there's like a video here. It looks like it's unlisted though. Maybe we'll have to look some more.
I remember seeing something. Was it the Replacements 100 or whatever? Or were there more than one NASCAR event?
Virtual races. That the inaugural iRacing Pro Invitational Series. So I guess that was whatever that one was.
Okay, so that's a different one.
Because I think they had several sets of races.
Yeah, I read about one called like the Replacement 100 that it was like a little more relaxed. It had but it had Dale Earnhardt Jr. It had a bunch of like staff members and shit, all just like fucking around. But they had like
I can't find,
hundreds of thousands of viewers too.
I can't find the information here, right here.
Okay.
But regardless, I think it's interesting when you look at, that NASCAR and IndyCar and F1, they come out and do this, and they're getting, hundreds of thousands of viewers. And then you look at, FD, and they get like 9,000 viewers. Maybe they get 12,000 if Adam LZ's in it.
Dude, we need a soundboard for like gunshots and shit.
No, I don't really want to take a dig at drifting, because I will be taking it. We'll have to come up with like shitty like talk show names or whatever. It's like,
yeah,
it's like Twiggy and the Maniac. And you just have to be like fucking insane,
It's Maniac.
Yeah. There's gonna be some really bad. We'll do it. We got it. We'll come up with the soundboard. Fuck. What were we talking about? Why did we go on that tangent? Dude, too much Jazz Cabbage, man.
Too much Jazz Cabbage and time has become meaningless.
There's been too much damn Jazz Cabbage in this fucking podcast so far. So, anyway, I don't really mean to dig at drifting because I am going to make another dig at drifting later. But this shit's just cool. I mean, I don't really know what to think of it because I don't really know if sim racing is quite the same as video games. Like there's clearly a fine line.
There is a level of separation. It's because it's not real driving, but it is technically video games, like by definition, but it utilizes a different set of skills that's maybe a little more like actual driving than like playing Call of Duty.
Well, you get to that fine line between, simulator and video game. Like, is what, Ferrari and Mercedes and whatever, the simulators that they have that have, hydraulic rams that move an entire life-size cockpit, one-to-one everything, like top of the top shit. That's not really a video game. That's trying to be as close as possible to the actual race car and get that race car experience. Clearly, you don't get the G-forces, but I don't know. I think there is. I'd call it video games. I mean, you can plug in an Xbox controller and play the fucking games, right? So that's a video game.
I would say, especially
F1
with,
2019, that's a video game.
And a set of Corsa, F1 2019, yeah, those are all video games. Like the shit that Ferrari and Mercedes have, maybe not so much, but like Gran Turismo is a video game.
So it's interesting to me because I don't really care much for esports. I like video games a lot. I watch a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube and stuff like that. I really have for well over a decade now, honestly. I've enjoyed that stuff. But I've never gotten into esports, like even when I was into CSGO and whatever and Overwatch. Like I never wanted to watch professionals play it. I just have never cared. I don't know why, because clearly a ton of people fucking love it. But then you have this e-racing comes out, and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. It's weird how my brain separates that. It's probably just because I'm a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like, I'm not super into esports, or I'm not into esports at all. I kind of think it's a little weird.
Dude.
But as soon as they're like, oh, Max Verstappen's in, I'm like, yo, let's watch this shit.
Yeah. Like, if Jeff Gordon and Max Verstappen were fucking racing Mario Kart, I'd want to watch that,
I might want to watch that even more.
But, like, if they were playing Mortal Kombat, I wouldn't care as much.
No, not at all.
Is it just that we fucking love racing? Is that it? Is that?
Oh, that's a huge part of it. I mean, I've never bought like a combat video game. I've bought racing games and Civilization. I bought a few other games here and there, but like predominantly, I've only ever bought racing games.
Yeah, I've always loved a good racing game, and
I mean, who doesn't?
Zoomers don't have the GTA 1 experience and polishing that disc, praying that it works so that you're a fucking idiot kid and you don't actually like know how to like be good at the game and make money and do well. So I would just do like arcade mode, and I didn't understand racing and braking and shit like that, so I would literally pick like a minivan or something because I could just floor it around every corner like you could in Mario Kart, Like that was like my first experience with like real racing games, because obviously Mario Kart, that's like an arcadey, that's way different.
I remember getting pretty deep in Need for Speed Underground 2, but I never beat like the last level of challenge.
We talked about this
or like the last couple.
We talked about this a few weeks ago or something. My first like car tuner game was SRS, Street Racing Syndicate. If anyone fucking here knows that one, like you're a legend because
Never heard of it. I had mostly Need for Speed games, and then I had this game called GT Legends. That was like FIA touring cars from like the 60s and 70s.
that's pretty cool.
And it was actually pretty simmy. It was a pretty fun game. I think I actually have it on Steam now and play it every now and then.
I vividly remember, and this goes back to, I guess I've always really loved Rally. Like, it's just fucking cool. And I remember playing Gran Turismo 3, I think it was. Was it A-Spec? Or what was the one that they had on, like, the PS2 or whatever? Didn't it have, like, a subtitle name or something dumb like that? Whatever.
I don't know. I've never really been a PlayStation guy or a Gran Turismo guy. I like Forza a lot more.
Yeah, I think by the time Forza really came out was when I was kind of dwindling from video games, though. Or really when Forza what became a reckoning force, you know?
Yeah, because like Forza 4, I think was when Forza really like became a good game.
Yeah, 3, 4, yeah.
And
1, like if you've played Forza 1, like it's all right, but it's like
or Forza 3 maybe, but I remember Forza 4 was when like Forza 4 was getting written about in like Auto Week and Car and Driver and shit.
Yeah.
We're doing like big
I think
about it.
I think I really played Forza 1 and that's kind of about it of the Forzas, and I was kind of done with video games around that period of time for different reasons. I don't why did we get to Forza?
Esports and driving
Just our
sims
first
and video
experiences,
games.
I guess, right? Is that where we were?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just riffing, dude.
That's how this is how it has to be. I mean, we've almost dawdled on for half an hour already.
Bro, we're killing it
Fucking
right
killing
now with
it.
the content.
Yeah. E-racing, I think it's really cool. I think it's also in a format that's really easy to air it in basically the same way that the actual sport is aired. I think that's a huge part of it. Like,
Yeah,
like people are, at least I remember in the past, like there's always like a huge Madden tournament, you know, and it's like the top level Madden players, and people go fucking crazy for that shit. And I'm sure there's a decent esports maybe presence for Madden. I don't know. I'm sure that's more of like a streaming thing.
I don't know. I think it's big in like I think the big things for streaming are like PUBG and
Yeah.
like
But regardless, with Madden though,
Fortnite.
like you watch somebody play Madden, even like a professional Madden player, like they're not gonna go jump into a game and suit up at left tackle, you know? They'd get fucking obliterated.
Oh, no.
So I think maybe that is my stream chat broken? Can you not see my
Yeah, the stream chat is broken.
Oh. All right, let me I'll reload it and put that back in. Why don't you say some stuff? Oh, now I can fucking see it.
I think it's also like conversely.
It did break.
You know,
No one told me. I was wondering. I was sitting here. I was like, why is no one fucking talking? Fuck.
whoever played like left tackle or whatever for a football team might not be great at Madden either. You know, whereas like as we saw this weekend, professional drivers can get on the sim rig, and maybe they're not as good as like a professional.
Yeah, but
sim
you could get
racer.
lucky.
They're not bad.
But you could get lucky, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's always that chance. You never know with oh, what the fuck did it just grab here? I can't believe it took forever for anyone to say something. I guess I couldn't read it.
I wasn't paying attention.
I guess I couldn't exactly read it I thought it was fine. I was wondering why everyone was so quiet. Oh no. We're really professional here, guys. So yeah, the next story that I had, I guess this is the best time to segue. Can you guys see the chat now? It's all good?
Yeah, it's
No, it wasn't that I was on live chat. I don't know what happened. It like disconnected and I guess never reconnected and just said fuck you. We're not even going to tell you. Whatever. The next story I had is that every single 2019 and 2020 Volvo in the US of A is being recalled. And that's like, I guess it's for their,
That's a lot of old.
I think it's for their emergency braking system, which they've been in the news for a number of years about that system, haven't they?
I couldn't tell you. To
I
be
vividly
honest,
remember
that
hearing.
sounds accurate to me, dude.
And I'm pretty sure it was on Top Gear too, wasn't it? When didn't Jeremy like drive into? They did like a crossover episode or some dumb car episode, and maybe it wasn't a Volvo, but it was some car that had like the emergency stop thing, and it just fucking didn't. It just crashed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with like early adopters of technologies is like it's not that good and then it's dangerous.
Well, I think the problem that was with this system was not that it wasn't working, but it was no, I guess it was just that it wasn't working. I don't know what that is for like a safety recall though, because like you don't have to sell a car with emergency braking systems on it.
Yeah, but if it's advertised with it and people expect it to
that's
be
what
there,
I'm wondering
not,
is like, is that an advertisement thing? Like they're saying, oh, this is an emergency braking system that's supposed to aid in safety. What if they said like, yeah, it helps. It's like 20% of the time or something. Like it helps most of some amount of the time. Like if they were really vague about the marketing for it, like would it still be? I know Volvo takes safety very seriously, and that's why it's
I don't think that would be a good company to be like, yeah, we have partially effective safety systems.
But like you don't have to have a safety system.
You need to put it. That sounds like something you need to put in the fine print.
But like, would you rather have a safety system that works half the time or none at all? I mean
I guess half the time, but like,
because like how often you don't often get into that scenario. So if that scenario happened and you fucking flip a coin,
I don't think we should have emergency braking systems because it encourages people to be lazy and attentive drivers. But whatever.
I think there's it was a Volvo. Oh, Bernie confirmed it was a Volvo. I think these safety systems and all these different systems, I think they have a point, but
that was obviously like a unbelievably hot take that should not be taken.
Like they have a point, but the fact of the matter is that people don't drive correctly without them. Like why are they gonna fucking drive correctly with them? Now they have a false sense of security. Like backup cameras. Like now nobody turns over their shoulder when they back up or whatever. And then if your backup camera freezes, then all of a sudden you have no fucking idea how to back out. Like, stuff like that happens. All these like blind spot monitors, which if I get a rental and it has a blind spot monitor, I have to turn it off because I fucking hate those things.
Yeah,
those things fucking suck. And it's probably because I'm a masshole and that's how we fucking drive around here. But like pretty much whenever I was passing people, it's beeping and beeping and beeping. It's like I know where people are. I'm checking my fucking mirrors. I know where every car is. And it's just beeping and beeping and beeping at me. It's like fuck off, dude. I hate those things. Those suck. And I'm sure there are people who just never glance at a mirror. Incorrectly set mirror that you can only see your door handles of, and they never glance over their shoulder because of systems like this. Like there have to be.
Bro,
that's just a numbers game.
An alarming amount of people that never look over their shoulder. They just glance in the mirror, and they don't even have cars with blind spot assist and shit.
Well, if you have your mirrors set right, and you're cruising in a certain manner, you really can just glance, but
I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm always
I
looking
always
over
look.
my
I
shoulder.
always
'Cause
look.
sometimes, dude, sometimes, man, some shit really is just hiding, dude. Especially like small cars and motorcycles.
Yeah, no, I
There's been a
always look
few
because of
times that
that.
there's just been a car like totally in my blind spot,
Yeah,
and I got to fucking wink.
that's why I check. I always do check. I do have my mirrors set properly. A lot of people don't have them set properly. Look that up if you don't know if you have yours set properly, so that you can actually see your blind spots with your fucking side mirrors, like what they're invented to do, not to see your door handles. So if you set that right, that helps driving so fucking much. And everyone, 95% of people I know don't have it set right. So you already have like a majority of drivers don't even have a basic safety system set correctly in their vehicle, which is mirrors. How the like they'll never fucking use these advanced safety systems correctly. Like they whatever. I don't want to
Well, yeah, I
rant
mean,
too
think
much about it.
about like the Tesla autopilot, bro. People just like on Pornhub getting their dick sucked while the Uber or while the Tesla's on
Dude, people
autopilot and
fucking
shit. Like,
sleeping while their cars are driving.
yeah,
It's insane. I guess, you'll never get rid of the stupid guy, right? There's always going to be idiots, no matter what you do. And well, what's the saying? Like, you find me something foolproof and I'll find you a fool. There's always
Yeah.
somebody dumber than than expected. And that's why we have a lot of these safety systems. The amount of people who have cut me off or almost merged into me with the light on the mirror just shows that they are useless anyway. Yeah, I see those lights, and I like usually the way I'm driving is I'm usually one of the faster cars just passing people. I like to just put on cruise control and move on over when it's clear and pass people. Every time I see those lights, I'm prepared for them to cut me off every single time.
yeah, for real, dude.
No, I put both hands on the steering wheel. If I'm in cruise control, my foot's hovering over the brake, like I'm ready. I'm 100%. That's every time. Yeah, Bernie, I drive like people are actively trying to crash into me. I mean, you got to.
Same,
You got to
dude.
drive defensive.
When you drive like a shitty old car, like you kind of have to. Like, I'm not saying your Beetle's shitty, but like
It's not safe compared to
when I
something
drove
new.
when I drove my Datsun, like literally every time I got on the interstate with that thing, I had to like accept that I was taking my life into my own hands. Like,
Even if
I
you
would not survive a crash at 70 in that thing. Like, there's no way.
even if you just stuck in the right lane going 55, like you wouldn't feel safe.
Yeah. And I feel less safe doing that because I feel like someone's going to plow into me doing 70 while I'm doing 55.
Yeah, it's a tough what's tough bill? I don't know what the fucking saying is I'm looking for here. tough bill to swallow, tough coin to swallow. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to think of
Tough
here.
pill
To swallow.
dude.
That's it.
Pill?
There's another
How
fucking saying. I don't remember that one.
Bro, you gotta get off the pot, dude.
No, I don't. Even in trucks, you feel unsafe doing under the limit. Yeah, like every time there's I don't know though, because I expect like an 18-wheeler or a box truck to be slow on the highway. When they're going 75,
Yeah, dude, that's super uncomfortable.
when they're doing 75 and like traffic's going like 76 and you're going almost 80 and like you're stuck behind people and waiting and stuff like that, like that's sketchy as fuck. That's like the most sketchy.
All right. So here is the scariest feeling. Being passed by a semi when you're in a very low old car.
Oh yeah.
I was in the middle of nowhere in Utah in my S12, which has 411 gears and very small tires.
So you're like buzzing.
So it goes like it doesn't like to really go much over 75. and the speed limit out there was 80. So I'm like cruising it as fast as I feel comfortable with because it's like the middle of August and 110 degrees outside. So I'm just like whipping, temps are high. I got the windows down, and I'm doing like 75, and I'm getting fucking passed by semis doing like 85, dude.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit. I was white knuckled up.
Kitty right there saying, I can't relate because semis are limited to 60 here. Yeah, they're limited to speeds here as well. They don't give a fuck. I've never seen a semi give a shit about what the truck laws are in a state. And I've never seen a cop care.
Yeah, man, they're eastbound and down. Dude, especially if you get out there at like night or early in the morning, dude. Like sometimes if I take the interstate to work, because I go to work at like 3:30 in the morning, and there will be semis like ripping it down the interstate right through the middle of the city.
I got a sketchy semi story. Similar to what you're saying on that timing, because when it's, like 3, 4, 5 a.m., like there's so much that open road that's when they have a bunch of them shipping shit because they can get really far really fast. And no, like here they have a mechanical governor. If they're caught, they have a loss of life. Yeah, well, you can't do that here because we're not communist. So
Yeah, this is
I don't know what to tell you
America.
about
We have
that one.
freedom.
I don't know what to tell you about that one. Back to my story. Me and my buddy, we were driving down to Virginia to visit my friend who was going to grad school at VTech. And we were leaving from, my buddy like drove down. This is when I was living in Connecticut. So it was like 95 for a great portion of the way. And obviously, if you can, you know what a map looks like, we had to go through New York City. And timing it and whatever, like we wanted to leave it. I think we left at like midnight or like 1 a.m. or something. And we got to, New York City. It's like 2:33 maybe, something like that. But it's fucking bucketing outside. And there's a shitload of construction and there's a shitload of semis just fucking flying down the highway. It was so fucking terrifying. Pitch black, raining, sketchy roads because of construction, super fucking fast semis. It's like everything that could possibly be going wrong. I'm sorry for that spit there. I did. It was so
Bro,
scary.
I had to pull over in a rainstorm one time. It was raining so hard. And it wasn't even at night, dude. It was raining so hard, dude. You couldn't see fucking 5 feet in front of you.
I almost did one time. Thinking of it, I probably should have, but not a single other car was doing it. It was so bad that I was on the highway. We were doing like 30 or something like that, just because it was so rainy. You couldn't fucking see far enough. Even though like the highway wasn't even packed, it wasn't it was very sparsely a populated highway. Like it started downpouring while I was on it, and you could like fly before it started downpouring, and then it rained so much we were going 30. It was scary. Fuck rain. I hate driving in the rain. That's the fucking worst. Fuck rain. Fuck racing in the rain. That's the worst.
I've never raced. I've done some autocrossing in
like damp,
mixed conditions. Yeah, it had been raining pretty much all morning, and then I was in the afternoon run group, and the rain came out, or the sun came out like towards the end of the morning, so the track was pretty dry.
Yeah,
but
I would think autocross would probably dry out pretty fast too. Or no, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, especially
driving in the rain.
I mean, it depends on where you are and how it is. So I moved to rain country, so maybe if I start autocrossing again, I'll get some rain experience.
I hate racing in the rain because, well, for one thing, you just know that like you can't get your maximum lap time if it's a track that you've gone around before and say you're chasing a lap time or something. Regardless of that, you just know that you can't go as fast. You know that you can't really do all the lines and breaking points that you've practiced and memorized and thought of. And I guess, with more experience, obviously, you get experience with both of those things. But it's kind of a bummer, at least to me. I think it's a bummer. And when we were in, like, Atlanta, and I loved Road Atlanta, and that was such an awesome track. But it was 37 and raining, like, both race days. So, like, not only is it
That's miserable.
wet, but it's fucking miserable. And, you're going down the straightaway, especially in our piece of shit Lemons, going down the straightaway, like, should I really keep going faster? Like, should I really, like, pass 100 here? Because, like, I don't know if I'm just going to start floating and fucking spin out and crash. Because, like, that shit can totally happen. Like, you can crash in a straight line if it's rainy enough. Especially if you have race cars with, oil and fluids and shit just going everywhere.
Yeah, dude. If you, like, start hydroplaning a little bit.
And Road Atlanta has a slight little kink on the back straightaway, too. So...
Oh, fuck.
It was a fun challenge, and, you calm yourself down and you get into it because everyone's in the same boat as you, obviously. But...
Yeah.
It's like way more challenging for not the same amount of fun, if that makes sense. I guess that to me, I'm sure there's other people who love driving in the rain because there's some guys who are super good at driving.
I want to try drifting in, like, consistent wet. I did a drift day that was, like, mixed wet dry conditions, and again, like, it wasn't bad, but it was, like, weird inconsistent grip levels. If it was, like, consistently wet, I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, experience it all. Like, I will never say, I'm not going to, like, say, no, I'm not racing because it's raining. Like, yeah. I mean, maybe if it was the Nürburgring and I'm Niki Lauda, like, maybe I would say no to racing in the Nürburgring in the rain. But generally speaking, like, no, I'm not going to say no. But it's definitely not preferred. It's just sketchy and ugh. But there are people who they just clean up shop in the wet, I actually remember, I think it was F1 2018, and, obviously they have their leaderboards and their time attack and whatever, and I just had, like, an Xbox controller, but, like, the Monaco wet leaderboard, like, wasn't that good. So I actually like, I spent like an hour and a half or so, and I managed to get to like 8th or something in the world in Monaco on the wet.
Nice.
And I'm like, I'm not even like very good at like racing games and sims and stuff. And it was literally with an Xbox controller. But I felt like a wet driving like expert specialist. Yeah, that's what I felt like. And yeah, I've never really felt that way in a real car. I don't like it, especially at night, because I don't really have.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Well, I don't have the best eyesight, especially in the dark. So when it's raining and you have that glare, like that fucking sucks. I think I have a lot of light visibility.
Don't have the best headlights.
Well,
the rain doesn't help.
Maybe you could get a different car. So we're 45 minutes in. I have one more planned topic. Should we hit the topic and then do our presentations and then wrap up, or should we do the presentations and then hit the topic?
Let's do our presentations in case they're terrible. Then we have another topic to recover
All right,
with.
I like that idea. The only time I have ever properly managed to hold the vehicle sideways, then recover without spinning out, was in the rain.
You should go to the skid pad and practice more.
Get some practice. Like it's definitely like such a weird feeling at first. And I'm not going to say like I'm good at it, but I've managed to get to the point where I can hang tail in the Mustang a little bit and not fucking die. Fuck. All right, we're gonna jump to our presentation. So as I had said earlier in the podcast, I don't know if anyone listening now had heard that, but we decided, because there's not so much going on, that we would assign some homework to each other, and we have some car presentations to make about the topic of our choosing. And Colin, would you like to start with your presentation on
Yeah,
Zerkusha?
why not?
I will hit present, and if you need next slide, say that, and I will hit enter for you.
All right, sounds good.
Can
This is
everyone see
probably
this
gonna be
good?
weird.
Let me confirm that this is seeable. I can probably like make it full screen if you guys want me to do that. Feels like school again. Yeah, this is the homeschool podcast.
This is quarantine homeschool.
This is what we got. Is this like okay? Look all right? Does it look okay? Can someone tell me? Because I'm like full screen over here. I can't even see. I need to get another monitor.
It looks good to me.
You like it? All right. We'll fucking send it.
All
Colin,
right.
the floor is yours.
So,
Everyone, please remain quiet.
all right. Actually, no. Feel free to chime in with any questions or comments as we go, and I'll try and address them. I think that's a better way to do it. Because I laid this out pretty minimally, thrown together at the last minute. So I did. I made this mostly to piss off Jake because he always calls everything Bosuzoku and gets mad when I say that's not what
I
it
think
is.
I just say
So I did
bozo.
yeah, well, that's even worse. So I have done a project on Zokusha styling. So can you go ahead and hit the next slide for me here? First, I would like to make some important disclaimers. This is a style of car predominantly coming out of Japan, and I am not Japanese. I'm not like an active member of this car scene. I just generally don't know shit. I took all this information from the internet. I tried to use sources that I think are pretty decent, but if I'm like wrong about anything, feel free to tell me so. All right, go ahead and let's go to the next slide. So, some words that go along with all this styling. Did you hit the next slide? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm watching on the stream, so there's like a delay.
Yeah, I
seeing
just
the
I just
slides.
muted myself so that you can do your thing.
Oh,
So
you should not do that, dude. You can't hang me out
all
to
right,
dry like that.
I won't mute then. But yeah, there's a
Like I
little bit
said,
of a
feel free to chime
ooh,
in.
I went one ahead by accident. There's a little bit of a delay, but I am hitting it.
All right, cool. So, important words that kind of go along with this stuff. So, Zokusha basically means like gang car. And there's like a bunch of different kind of subcategories that fall into this. And then Bosuzoku is like, it basically translates to like running out of control tribe or something like that. And it's the name for like motorcycle gangs from Japan. It's not a car style, but it is a bike style, and they're similar. So that like the confusion's understandable, but I don't know. I'm kind of a butthurt, I guess. So
Yeah, you guessed correctly.
yeah. Then there's Shakotan. You hear that word a lot, which basically just means low car. And generally, when people are talking about it, they mean like an older car from like the 70s or 80s that's super low. But like really, any super low car technically falls under that label. There's Kaido racers, which is like the stuff with the big wide bodies that are like, designed to look sort of like race cars or whatever, big over fenders. And then you hear the word Kaisha a lot, and I'm probably mispronouncing all this too, so I'm sorry for that. And that just means old car. So go ahead and go to the next slide.
Just to add to that, Kaido racers are the ones that I like.
Yeah, Kaido racers are dope. And so we're gonna, I don't know, there's some pictures of all of them, and we're gonna go through. So next slide.
Yeah, I hit it.
Oh, okay.
It's like about 10
these
seconds.
are some, yeah, these are some Bosuzoku bikes. The main things about that are on most of them is you see the fairing there, how it's like built up all tall, and then it has like that super fucking tall seat. That's like the general style of what they do on them, and then they ride around and rev them and shit. I don't
They
know,
ride
like
around and
they're
rev them and
goofy.
shit. This is the.
Like literally, I mean, there's like a Vice documentary about the Bosozoku. I'm pretty sure it's like dramatized a lot, but basically, like, they're biker gangs. You know, they would like go around and rev their motorcycles and be loud and obnoxious and get in fights with
But it's
each
like
other.
varying levels, right? Like some gangs were like, really violent and like actual gangs, and others were just like, guys who like to be obnoxious idiots on bikes, right?
Probably, like I said, I wasn't like there for it. I've seen things that is like, oh, they're super violent criminal biker
I've
gangs,
always
and I've
heard that
seen things
too.
that like, yeah, they're idiots that like to ride around on their obnoxious bikes and make noise. And you are, if I were to guess, I'd say you're probably right that there was maybe some of both, but I don't want to make any claims about like what it was and what it wasn't because I don't really know.
Well, I just know that I have seen like bozo bike gangs. They're pretty common in anime. You see them here and there, and they're typically like, depicted as very violent and stuff as well.
Okay, well, maybe that lends more credence to that. Like I said, there's a Vice documentary you can watch about it that is like, I mean, it's a little weird, but it's like 8 minutes long. It's called like The Truth About Japan's Crazy
I'm gonna hit
Bosozoku
enter
Gangs
now.
or something. All right, yeah. These ones are some Shakotan cards.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't see. Okay, I was just guessing. I can't remember what order it is. So yeah, I mean, like I said, Shakotan really just means like low car, like super low car, but generally it's associated with like more mild, like older car builds with just like super low, small wheels, like looking like those two cars. They're clean, they're simple, and they look good. I think like that's definitely,
I could
I guess, kind of where my S12 falls
I
into.
could be down for like a Shakotan like 77 Celica or something.
Yeah,
That'd
dude.
be fucking
And it's
sick.
actually there's a company called Izanami Wheel Company in Japan that's doing like rebuilds that are very like true to the original designs on old wheels and making them stupid wide, like 12 inches, 13 inches wide. And they're putting them under stock body cars like that. They're shortening all the like suspension arms and stuff to make them fit. It's pretty
That's
wild.
crazy. 886 Hachi said that he wants to do a redneck Zoku build with a Gia Mustang. Who posted? Was it Corey who posted the fucking that C4 Corvette that was like all cambered out? That was pretty
Oh
redneck
yeah.
Zoku. I like that term. That was pretty fucking funny.
I mean, I think that shit's a little cringy to be honest, but like, do your thing. I'm not like I wouldn't do it.
Well,
Probably wouldn't see like the whole like redneck Zoku thing. Like, if I see it, I'm not really into it. But don't build your cars to my taste. Build them to your taste.
I think that's the big disclaimer on all of our podcasts is like we just say our opinions, like do your thing.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's yeah. These ones are cool. Kite racers. This is like also I've heard these cars described as like Gretchen, which is like the Grand Championship or whatever, or like similar cars to this. But I generally have heard them referred to as Kaido races. By the way, it's like the cars that kind of have like the race inspired stuff, but then maybe taken a little more wild with like the giant front splitters, and they have like the Takayeri pipes and all that shit. And yeah, I think these are pretty sick.
I think they're I mean I wouldn't look at one and frown. Like I think that's the way that I would take away from it.
Yeah, I don't think you could drive one in frown
No.
either.
Even if it's not your thing, like if you were in Japan and you saw that, you would probably giggle like a schoolgirl. Any one of you. Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
just like it, it's a thing. I guess that's how it is.
Yeah. And then I think on this next slide, I just have some pictures of some other stuff that I don't really know like what subcategory it falls under. And so you just call it Zokusha because that's kind of like the overarching term.
Dude, that thing on the bottom left is fucking nasty.
Oh yeah, the wood car.
Is that all wood?
Most likely, yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
That's how you get like those big flat panels. There's some people that do crazy wood cars. I saw one that had like a super tall roof, so it looked like a cartoon and shit.
I like the two on the left.
They just build the bodies out of plywood.
I like the two on the
or
left.
Or like that one that I sent the other week that was like that hatchback with the roof cut off and the Mercedes grill. That had a bunch of plywood on it too.
Was crazy.
I like this one on the top right with the exhaust coming out the hood's pretty dope and the flames.
I'm feeling the top right.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like the two on the left the most. But you know, I appreciate the ridiculousness of the two on the right as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think like all this stuff is pretty cool. I definitely like take some inspiration from it for my builds. So yeah, I just wanted to, do a little presentation on it and annoy you and continue to have you call everything Bosozoku probably or Bozo.
Yeah, I'm probably still gonna do it, but dude, regardless.
But you could call it Zokusha.
There we go. And you get the round of applause.
All right, yeah, that's my presentation.
All right, good job, man. I liked it. I learned a lot. I actually know most of this stuff, and I ignorantly still call it Bozo. But yeah, good one. I like that. That was interesting. I know you're into it, and I'm sure you learned a bit yourself too. So I guess we'll hop on to my presentation now. Everyone, I guess you can like vote whose is better or something, and that'll be fun, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Let's turn it into a competition. Sure.
One of the few people I have met who would buy a Mustang too without being well, fuck, I can't afford anything else. Yeah, you have fun with that Mustang, bud. All right, I'm gonna go on to my presentation here. Now, everyone, I'd like to introduce you to my presentation, and this is why front-wheel drive is best-wheel drive by some asshole with a GTI. So
I already hate it.
So we're gonna start off with the background here, okay? So we'll get some ground rules here, and if everyone could hold your questions for the end, that would be perfect. So
I'm gonna jump in.
Please write them down and save it for the end. Thank you very much.
That's not gonna happen.
So cars, surprisingly so, come in many different types. Some power, the dumb back wheels. Some spin all four of them like fucking idiots. But I'd like to note, neither of those are preferable. But I will admit that each method does have its own benefits to some extent. Now, let's start off
I like the theme you
with
picked,
the technical benefits of front-wheel drive, which I will abbreviate as FWD for the remainder. I probably will still say front-wheel drive, but that's why you're supposed to do that in like technical documents and presentations and shit. Fuck me, man. The engineering life.
Bro, this isn't actually.
No, we're going hard here. I'm going hard here, and this is why I'm gonna win, baby. So the technical benefits of front-wheel drive. They're cheaper. Typically you can make your powertrain and your front suspension and all of that assembly into one big assembly, and it's just quick and easy and compact, which I believe is another point later on. They have fewer parasitic losses. There's just less drivetrain, so there are fewer losses from that. If you're looking to make as close to your crank horsepower as possible, you're probably going to be looking at something like this, or, well, I guess maybe you would be more like direct drive, which is kind of what like funny cars do. But regardless, your engine weight is over the drive wheels. Now that's great because in driving around in the winter, you have more load over your driven wheels. You don't spin out stuff like that. Because of this compactness, you get more room in the passenger compartment. You don't have a drive line. You don't have a transmission tunnel. You don't have a transmission. Especially for anyone who's owned like an NA or NB Miata, you don't have a transmission sitting next to you that gets hot. Freedom of design for the rear suspension. You can make it cheap and something for the regular commuter who doesn't need anything special. You could make it nice, like Honda has been known for years of making very well-tuned rear suspensions in their front-wheel drive cars. And obviously, the last technical benefit, Chrysler PT Cruiser convertible. Like, come on, guys. So moving on, front-wheel drive drifting, it's just cooler than rear-wheel drive drifting. But, I don't really give that. Like, drifting's all right, I guess. But, I mean, come on. Come on.
Front wheel drive drifting's
Look at
cool
that.
and all, but
Look at that. You can't get at that. Look at this guy having a blast.
I can't.
It's coming up. It'll be there.
Oh, he's on the PVC rings. Yeah, I mean that shit's dope, but
it's just cooler.
So
it's cooler.
Regular drifting. I don't know if it's cooler.
Anyway, torque steer. It's kind of fun. I mean, I always hear it as a negative. You'll see it on not really forums anymore because they're kind of dead, but you'll see it on like Reddit and Facebook and other dumb places that you shouldn't be, and everyone's talking there. Oh, the torque steer is crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Just fucking grow a pair and hold the fucking steering wheel.
It is kind of fun to feel out of control.
Yeah.
My Acura definitely has some torque steer when you really get on it.
Yeah, so, here's some sciencey shit. I don't really think it shows how torque steer actually occurs. There are better ones for that, but this is the one I picked. Hot hatchbacks are the shit. If you remember, in the start of this, I own a fucking GTI, and I love this thing. I own one. When you own a hot hatchback, you only get made fun of often. It's not all the time. So when you don't, you can feel like a big dick baller. It's a great commuter car, a great, fun back road, like all arounder type of vehicle. And for me, that's what I like. And you can fit a ton of shit in the hatch. I've never run out of room in my GTI ever. So they're sweet. Another point here is, most of you guys are boring. You're going to talk about, I'm going to go buy an E46 and blah, 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 a 370Z, whatever you're buying. You're just fucking,
Bro, are you really trying to say a GTI is more exciting than a E36 or
No, I'm not saying it's more exciting. I'm saying that it doesn't matter if it's more or less exciting if the person driving it isn't exciting. There are tons of boring front-wheel drive cars for all you boring people. Some of them are really good at certain things, like hauling a bunch of stuff or good economy, stuff like that. But, some are good at active birth control methods. So that's a definite benefit if that's what you're looking for. Also, if the birth control failed, then you got the right car for it in that case. And really the biggest point here, the one that I need to drill into all of your brains here, certified pre-owned Honda Fits. I mean, what do I have to say? What do I have to say? I mean,
it is unarguably the best car.
You can't get better than this. You can think that you're going to get better than this, but come on. Certified pre-owned Honda Fit. You're fucking set.
Honda Fit Sport 6-speed manual.
Just think about it.
You can't go wrong.
Just think about it. Dude, open diffs are fine in the snow. Shut up, kitty. So, in conclusion, front-wheel drive wins in basically every single category that I listed. Kitty, again, shut up. I know it's a Jazz. I know it's a Jazz. It's still a Fit. Rear-wheel drive is wrong-wheel drive. And let's be honest, well, not anymore. But when your life gets back to normal, you're probably just going to sit in fucking traffic anyway. And coronavirus hates front-wheel drive. So liking front-wheel drive actively fights it. Questions.
I mean, not really. I like front wheel drive cars. I daily drive an Acura Integra and it's super fun. I used to autocross a CRX and it was super fucking fun. But I also love my S12. I had a Mark II Supra that was pretty fun. My 710 wagon was the shit. So like some rear wheel drive cars are pretty fun too. And I mean, I don't think it's a matter of one's better than the other. I think just they're different and good for different things and good in
I
different
mean,
ways.
clearly you just weren't paying attention to the slideshow then, because I just explained why that they weren't better. So, maybe use your brain next time.
Also, what about mid-engine cars?
I said, why don't you use your brain next time? We were only talking about
you didn't say
we were only
any-
talking about the drive
all the-
wheels
all the-
here. The next presentation will be
options
about
you-
engine location.
all the
Didn't even get to
options
engine
that you
location. Didn't even get
listed-
there. It could have been rear engine, front wheel drive.
all the advantages that you listed also apply to a mid-engine rear wheel car.
All right, you know what? Fuck you, dude.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, what about
Yeah,
it?
what about all your front wheel drive bozo cars, right? Maybe that's why they're so shit.
There's like,
What about a Toyota MR2? Uses a front wheel drive drivetrain in rear engine config thonk. Rear engine, front wheel drive. Only front wheel drive I've driven is my wife's Odyssey. Odysseys are awesome, so you're welcome. They're great cars.
not as awesome as a Fit.
Not as awesome as a Fit, but like an Odyssey's basically like a
should-
big Fit. Like if you
You should convince your wife to get rid of it and
So,
get
like,
a Fit.
you know,
It'll get a lot better gas mileage.
Honda Fit
and you can get it with a 6-speed manual.
Honda Fit has 5 seats, so unless you got 4 kids, I don't see why you would get an Odyssey. Just gonna say. So how'd that go, everyone? You guys like our presentations? I want to bag that thing so bad. I think a minivan is like the only car I'm okay with bagging, because it's like, what else are you gonna do with it? Like 3 daughters. Yeah, Honda Fit, you're fine. So that was some fun. Why don't we wrap this up? We'll hit our last topic and we can wrap some stuff up, and we actually have done a decent runtime so far. Something that us Americans will never be able to have because we suck. But in New Zealand, they're probably stopping now because of coronavirus. But they're selling a Suzuki Jimny Ute, little tiny baby pickup truck. And ain't that just fucking sick?
Bro, it pisses me off, some of the things that we don't get.
The Jimny's pretty sick. Like, why do we have the Jeep Renegade?
Why don't they just make an agreement to sell those with a Jeep badge?
I mean, I would rebadge it as a Suzuki, but if that's how we get it, I'd honestly be okay with it.
Well, because Suzuki pulled out of the U.S. market, so why doesn't Jeep strike a deal to sell those with a Jeep badge? Because those are super sick, and those would, I feel like those would sell.
So it says, so this is all custom done stuff. So obviously it's gonna cost a certain amount. It says that the Wanganui, a New Zealand dealer, is asking, I don't know what any of these are in real money. What's like 37,500 in real money, you upside down people?
Let's say it's about the same.
It's not the same though. It's nowhere near the same. It's about $22,700, which honestly, I don't think that's that bad.
No, it's a pretty banging deal.
But yeah, you can get other trucks for cheaper.
20 grand for a little work truck.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I like the SUV version fine too. I really like the Samurai, like the older ones. I wish we could get these.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty
They're
cool.
cool. They're cool little things, and I feel like they'd be really fun. I wonder what this thing is back here. Like it looks like a Versa or something. All right, whatever. That's it. We're out of topics. There's nothing more. Nothing else has happened. This is all we got, guys. So I guess we can go to the conclusion-y part, or hit any things that we might have missed. Rant about any last points that you might have had, something along those lines.
Um,
A Suzuki Vitara.
Yo, that's dumb. That was like the top
Those are
tier,
cool.
reasonably priced car for a while, wasn't it?
Mach from Zebra Corner
Or no,
drives
that's
one.
just a SUV.
Yeah, it's just like an S. They're honestly like pretty decent from what I know.
I don't know anything about
I
them.
don't either, man. Suzuki Sierra Stockman.
Oh, that's the picture in the Discord.
Okay. So I think the article was that's probably what this is talking about here, right? A manual Sierra. I
Well,
didn't know what the Sierra was. That's what I was confused with.
okay.
Before on-road costs. Oh, so is that built as an off-roader and you have to get it certified for on-road use? That's interesting.
That sounds like a New Zealand thing.
25,000.
Just for the conversion?
No, that was just the
That
cost
including
of
the
it
car.
before you converted it, and that's $15,500. Like, that's not bad. Sierra is what the Jimny is called in Australia and New Zealand. All right. I did not know that.
So wait, so it's 15 for the car and then 22 for the conversion,
No, no,
or
no, no,
it's
no,
22 total.
no, 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 no. All converted. Okay, yeah. Sorry. It originally would have been about 15.6 thousand US dollars. And that's before you certify it for road use. I don't quite know how it works in New Zealand. I know you can basically register anything. And then after the conversion, it's $22.7 thousand. So it's a reasonably expensive
Okay.
conversion.
But it looks like it's well
It
done,
does look well
honestly.
done.
Like
Fold down beds and everything, but
7Gs, like that's not bad.
like you could also buy like a really 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 nice like K truck for 7Gs and import it.
True.
And I feel like I'd probably rather do that and have a Jimny than have a Jimny Ute. But that's just
That's a
me.
good
Don't,
point.
if you live in New Zealand, go fucking nuts for it. Go get your fucking thing.
I'm just jealous that they have the option to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think that's really the biggest takeaway, and I know like in the US, like whenever they introduce something that like enthusiasts clamor for, like no one fucking buys it and they get rid of it, obviously. Like I understand why the market works that the way that it does here. But, I will always want more choice, even if it's not necessarily a choice I would make. What was the K-Van Onion owned? Wasn't that a Honda
Uh,
Acti? Or was it a Mitsubishi?
no, I thought it was a Suzuki. I thought it was a Carry.
Yeah, if it was a Suzuki, it was no, a Suzuki Every is what the van is. It's not. It's a
All right, there's your Haggard Garage Minute.
hell yeah, guys. All right, Colin, you got any last points? I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, I think we pretty much hit everything we could. Stay safe out there, and remember, we don't condone illegal activities in cars, but your industrial areas are probably empty right now.
Just a side fact. Did you say anything about Corona? It's out there. Yeah, I mean we talked about e-racing because of it. So
I mean, yeah,
I don't think
like
that we should be like your leading source of Corona
we're not a
news.
coronavirus podcast. We're a car podcast, so that's kind of
Yeah.
what we were trying to talk about. But yeah, like all that e-racing is kind of a result of coronavirus, so that's how we talked about it.
So, I guess we're out of topics. That's why it's been a slow past couple of weeks. Might even keep getting slower. So we'll see in 2 weeks' time what we got, and we'll try to put something together.
We'll try and keep it fresh for
If
you.
there's really not much going on in the next 2 weeks, then maybe we'll make it 3 weeks, or maybe we'll try to add something different like we did this podcast. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
I think we should try and do a bonus episode next week while everybody's stuck inside. We got to get that.
Yeah, maybe we should
isolation
maybe
content out there.
we should figure out something that we can do. I don't know. Maybe we can find like a racing video game or something. Whatever. Like we'll find something that we can do that'll be entertaining and a little extra something to fill in.
We will go the extra mile for the first time in the history of this podcast to entertain you.
Hell yeah. So everyone, thank you very much. Colin, thank you for coming in again. Thank you for chatting with me. I had a blast.
Thanks for throwing it all together.
Everyone, stay safe out there. Don't smoke too much jazz cabbage. Don't lick any doorknobs for sure. Wash your hands, stuff like that. And if you got any suggestions on what we could do for a little bit of bonus stuff while all of us are bored and stuck inside, let us know, and we'll see what we come up with. Otherwise, we will try to see you in 2 weeks or sooner or later, or all three of those. Question mark?
Time is meaningless.
Time is a human construct. Fuck it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your night. And take it easy. Colin, thank you. And goodbye.